Hello and welcome to Sports Today. I'm doing rather cricket after a month almost, close to a month. Obviously, I will do more Olympic sport, more Paralympic sport going forward as the Paralympics come. I'm going to do a lot of Paralympic sport, but I'm back to doing cricket as well because a huge test match starts tomorrow. India was extremely impressive in the first test match in Nottingham. Can they continue with the momentum? So as part of this show, I'm going to discuss what can be the ideal team combination at Lords, what can be India's bowling attack like, how is the England team looking with all these injury concerns, Jimmy Anderson, Stuart Broad, all of them also now on the injury list. What will the England bowling combination possibly look like? Can India take advantage of that? The ICC has docked both teams of 40% match fee and also two important points because of the slow over rate. Will that impact the eventual outcome going forward in the WTC? We've seen that in the past with Australia. Plenty to talk about over the next 20-25 minutes, but let's break it down. India really does have momentum. India does have momentum going into this test match at Lords. Except that top order, not the openers, but number 3, 4, 5. More or less all the other boxes have been ticked. Yes, some might say Rishabh Pant looked streaky, but that innings of 25 was handy, and more importantly, behind the wickets, he was extremely good with some of his catches, which were stellar. So the openers, let's start there. Rohit Sharma looked assured, definitely looked assured. 36, that pull shot, hook shot to fine leg, one ball before lunch, 97 for 1. Yet again a shot that Rohit Sharma fancies. Second innings also, very good start from Rohit. KL Rahul got an opportunity coming from nowhere, made the most of the opportunity, and that was excellent to see. 84 in the first innings. A decent enough start in the second, quick fire 25 odd that allowed India to get off 52 for 1 when rains stopped the game. So good opening stand, and KL and Rohit both look the part. And that's important for India going forward into this test match. By the way, Sourav Ganguly will be in the stands watching the test match. He's left for Lords yesterday, and now with India in the amber list, you do not have to do the mandatory quarantine. You need an RT-PCR 72 hours before, and all you need is another test in your second day in England. So Saurav will get that done and will be in the stands. Kumar Sangakkara had invited Saurav to watch the test match from his box. As you know, Kumar Sangakkara was the last MCC president. So Sourav Ganguly, the BCCI chief, will also be at Lords for this particular match. Now coming to that 3, 4, 5. Cheteshwar Pujara, in that brief essay in the second innings, I was watching in an app in Japan, had downloaded this live cricket app where I could get the action. Cheteshwar Pujara looked good, and it was pretty late in the night. India had won a medal. It was a great day, and I was enjoying watching the cricket. So Cheteshwar needs to fire, as does Virat. First ball duck for Virat, surprising the ball, jacked up. Jimmy Anderson, maybe no Jimmy Anderson at Lords, but the Indian captain is much too good. One failure doesn't really bother me much. But you've got to get runs from Virat Kohli and Cheteshwar Pujara to be back in business. As far as Ajinkya Rahane is concerned, quite a few starts, and even he was unlucky, direct throw. He was far too advanced down the track. But Ajinkya Rahane, after Melbourne, quite a few starts, not conversions. You want that conversion to happen. And the moment it's Lords, you tend to think back to the Ajinkya Rahane innings from 2014. The test match that one keeps in mind as far as Lords is concerned is that 2014 test match, because the 2018 test match was very unfortunate for India. I was there in 2014 and in 2018. 2018, it was one of those blustery, cold, windy days with tremendous amount of rain. Arjun Tendulkar was working as tending the ground with part of the groundsman's team, and it was flooded, the ground, flooded. But Lords being Lords, they cleared out. England had a field day, bowled India out for 110 odd, and then beautiful day the next day. England made merry with multiple hundreds. That was had India won the toss, it could have been the exact same system for India. So that's not one test match I really take into account. 2014 rather, It was a very difficult pitch to bat on, and Ajinkya Rahane was sensational with his 103. Ishant Sharma, brilliant in the second innings. England got a partnership, but then that short ball doing the trick. Getting the short ball to jack up first wicket at forward shot, and then one after the other, the short ball doing the trick for Ishant Sharma. So Lord's India has done well in the recent past. Can that top order fire? Because after that, Rishabh Pant, Ravindra Jadeja, and even the tail was extremely impressive in Nottingham. Bumrah scoring, Shami scoring, valuable runs, and that 95-run lead actually set the match up. Had India been bowled out for 205, 210, 215, 220, England would not come under pressure, and the Joe Root 100 would actually seem much bigger than what it looked with that chase of 200. So your tail made a big difference. Can they consistently do that? So that is one of my takeaways from the Lord's Test, the Indian tail. Now coming to the Indian bowling. I thought the Indian bowling was super impressive. Super impressive. Jasprit Bumrah started well, trapping Rory Burns. Mohammad Siraj bowled well. Mohammad Shami bowled well. Yes, a couple of lucky wickets. Tom Sidley caught at mid-wicket, was a bit of a lucky wicket. Then the next one, Dan Lawrence, wicketkeeper, tap out. That was a freakish kind of dismissal. But all said and done, the bowling attack was very much on course as far as India is concerned. To get England out for 200 and 300, they were very, very impressive. Very, very impressive. And I have to say, you must give the bowling attack all boxes. Shardul Thakur was impressive with the wickets he took. Again, the knack of picking key wickets came to the fore. The ball moved to take Joe Root. And thereafter, the second wicket as well. Shardul Thakur, I'm told, has a bit of an injury. And if you had watched the 100, the spinners did get a decent amount of purchase at Lords. So there comes the Indian team. So what do you go with as far as your combination? Now 10 players pick themselves. 10 players clearly pick themselves. So it's Rahul, Rohit, Virat, Pujara, Rahane, Pant, Jadeja. 7 done. Siraj, Shami, Bumrah done. Now comes the 11th spot. Is Shardul Thakur 100% fit? Maybe not. If he is not 100% fit, then who do you go with? Your options: 1, Ravichandran Ashwin. If the ball did turn a bit, if the ball did help the spinners a bit, and going back and checking out the details of the 100, the ball did help. Ravichandran Ashwin makes himself a very potent contender for a spot in the team. And we all have seen what kind of performance he put up in that match, the county match that he played. He is in excellent form. In Australia, he was very impressive. In the home series was impressive. And to leave Ravichandran Ashwin out from a test team in this form is always a very tricky call. If Shardul is unable to play, and if there is something on offer for the spinners at Lords, I would want Ravichandran Ashwin to make the cut. I would want Ravindra Jadeja and Ravichandran Ashwin. Yes, I know that the WTC final, both of them played, didn't really work out, but Ravi Ashwin did create an opportunity for India on that final afternoon, evening. Even that Kane Williamson dismissal, which the review saved him. Had that gone India's way, who knows? But Ravichandran Ashwin is an important player for India. So maybe if Shardul Thakur is not 100%, and even if he is, that's the call that the Indian team management has to take. Ravichandran Ashwin, the one that India will go in as the 5th bowler, with Jadeja, Shami, Bumrah and Siraj. That's a very, very important call. Ishant Sharma, because of the 7 for 70, look at his record at Lords, also throws himself into the mix. Depending on the nature of the condition at Lords, it is very, very important that you get this done. Depending on the thing, Ishant Sharma or Ravichandran Ashwin is a call that the Indian team management will have to take. Extremely important call that the Indians will have to take. So Ishant Sharma, given his track record, given all of it, is also a potent contender. Somehow, I feel that seeing the 100, seeing some highlights today, Ravichandran Ashwin just has his nose ahead. also maybe for his batting ability, because that allows the Indian batting to have that little bit of extra depth with Ravi Ashwin ahead of Ishant Sharma. That's my team. So I'm going with Bumrah, Shami, Siraj, Jadeja and Ashwin as my bowling unit. Now coming to the England side. First we were told that Stuart Broad has an injury concern, did not take part in the nets. Now we also know that Jimmy Anderson has a tight quad and did not practice. As a result, they have called up Saqib Mahmood. They have, in all probability, zeroed in on Mark Wood. And it will be a very new look England bowling attack, something maybe that one has to watch out for the future. So it will most probably be Dom Best 2 has been released. Most probably they'll go in with Moeen Ali. So they will probably go Ollie Robinson, Mark Wood, Saqib Mahmood, and we've got to see whether they also go in with Moeen Ali, who has a very, very impressive record against India. The problem is not so much with England's bowling, but with England's batting. Except Joe Root, if you see the rest of the batting order, it has actually looked fragile. Be it a Dom Sibley or Rory Burns, that opening partnership hasn't really fired. India has managed an early breakthrough. Rory Burns, Dom Sibley, and then Zach Crawley. Zach Crawley has looked very good in patches. Every time Zach Crawley has sort of settled in, he's looked good, but thereafter he's gotten out without getting the big one, 20s, 30s, and he's gotten out. Joe Root has been superb. I mean, in the first innings in Nottingham, in the second innings, the English captain is batting in a very different league now. And Joe Root is obviously their best batsman. Johnny Bairstow, important contributions from him. Johnny Bairstow is an important batsman as well in that schema, but again, he has failed to convert. Joss Buttler, not so much in form. Dan Lawrence, okay. But the rest of the squad, I mean, the bowling attack in the absence of Anderson and Broad, it will be a big, big problem for England. However much Mark Wood is 90k, however much Saqib Mahmood has done well in domestic cricket, to fill the boots of Jimmy Anderson, who has been England's best bowler by a country mile, even in that first test match, will be a big, big issue for England if Anderson is unable to play. We've got to see, yes, he's not yet ruled out, but from what reports are we are getting, he has an injury concern, and it might just be a very new look England bowling attack going into the Lord's Test. If Anderson and Broad do not play, and if it's this bowling attack by England, Robinson and Wood and all, India does have a chance. I mean, there's no question that India will fancy themselves, because with this attack, they will mentally have the edge. The Indian bowling attack, one should definitely say that on paper looks better if there is no Jimmy Anderson, Stuart Broad in the England ranks. So the test match, quite beautifully set up. If you ask me, India has the edge. India has acclimatized well in England. India was the better team in Nottingham. India looked the better batting unit as well with the tail wagging. India looked the better bowling unit. I'm not taking into account Jimmy Anderson. He was special. So overall, the Indians do have a lot of momentum going into this test match. No real injury concerns except that of Shardul Thakur. So that's how I see this test match. We'll be very keenly watching. We'll miss a Lord's Test after maybe 4 or 5 series, but just back from Tokyo. But if, now with India being in the amber list, if the series goes well, might as well go for the 5th test match. Not yet decided, but that's something I'm definitely considering, whether I should go for the 5th test match to watch it there. We'll keep you posted. If I do, obviously all of the shows will be from England on Sports Today. The other news that is doing the rounds, Ravi Shastri and not wanting to continue, or has informed the Indian management and the BCCI, and the others will also probably move on. You have to also keep in mind Ravi's age, keep in mind the reforms, and keep in mind the coach's age. What is the cutoff? Has a firm decision been taken yet? Maybe not. But that was always the case. His contract was till the England series. Obviously, will get an extension till the World Cup, and thereafter one has to wait and see. It's been a while, and if you take the earlier stint, everybody has to stop. But Ravi Shastri will want to win this series, will want to win the England series, and no question will want to leave a mark with that World Cup, the T20 World Cup. If he wins the England series, to beat Australia and beat England in the very same year, It'll be a big contribution from Ravi Shastri. He's been trolled a lot, but make no mistake, he's had a stellar contribution to this team, a stellar contribution. So wish Ravi Shastri, because this team has the potential. This team has the potential of beating England. And if that happens, as I said, beating Australia, beating England in the same year has never really happened in the history of Indian cricket. So in that sense, Ravi will leave behind a legacy that will be pretty difficult to match. As far as Bharat is concerned, he's a stellar bowling coach. Two new teams coming in the IPL. I'm pretty much sure they will want to solicit the services of Bharat Arun. Again, because of age, you have to keep in mind turning 60. Both new IPL teams would love to have Bharat Arun in their ranks as coach. We've got to see how things unfold. So that's as far as that news point is concerned. Ravi Shastri, Bharat Arun, and the rest of the coaching staff. I do think Rahul Dravid will reapply for the position at the NCA and should obviously get that 2-year extension. Will Rahul apply for the India position? We've got to wait and see how things unfold. But as part of the NCA, he has done a stellar job. And one does expect Rahul Dravid to apply for a 2-year extension. So that's as far as my Lord's build-up is concerned. Let me take a few questions. Comments, questions? Oh, Lord, plenty. Boryada, Broad and Anderson injured. Will they play tomorrow? Answered them. Arush Shah, Krishna J. Borya, great to have you back after Olympics on cricket. Jaddu in England filling up for the porous batters like Rahane. Is it fair to drop Ashwin? I've answered that. Rahane, not a porous batter, was run out. Give him a match. Krishna, I understand where you're coming from, but give him another game. Lords, he's got 100 in the past. Give Ajju a little bit more time. Ravindra Jadeja was phenomenal. Ravichandran Ashwin, I've answered that. Agastya Agarwal, Rohit Sharma facing 2 balls. Very sure of his off stump, getting starts every time. Comfortable at the crease. Big knock coming from the hitman. I absolutely hope so, Agastya. And yes, he's looked very good. But that has been the case from Australia. He has looked very good and assured on foreign soil. And taking his time looked very impressive. Really want Rohit to convert one. Because he does deserve to convert one. For I know how much he's worked on his red ball game to make a difference to India's prospects in overseas conditions. So absolutely yes. Shatrajit, Boryada, please cover Olympic sports at least twice a week. There are many world championships in archery. Obviously will. When have I not? And Shatrajit, been covering Olympic sports for a month. I will cover Paralympics every single day, yet again, with special shows every day. We'll break every Indian news point. And I'm claiming here on Sports Today, we will win more than 12 medals with 2 or 3 gold medals. I've said this multiple times. I'm saying it again. And every gold medal or a medal will be a story which you will get from me on Sports Today. I will build it up. I'll get you Pramod Bhagat, get you Ekta Bhyan, get you Palak Kohli, get you Deepa Malik, get you Devendra Jhajaria. Make no mistake, I will do Paralympics as well. I will do Olympic sports with equal gusto. I mean, when have I not? I mean, this much I must claim that I do cricket and Olympic sport with the same amount of intensity. Perhaps in the country, I don't think there's many more who do that. So that's not a pompous statement. That's a fair claim. It'll be great if you do 2 shows a day. It's difficult because I also have to do television. I do digital. I do a lot of writing plus my own academic work. But during the Paralympics, I will, Shatrajit. So I will try my best. Who is going to replace Shardul? As we've discussed this already, my vote will be for Ash, having given that the Lord's track might just offer a little bit of turn. We've seen that in the 100. Mohit, can we please explain the role of the slope? Absolutely good question. Unless you know the slope, it's very difficult for a bowler to keep to his line and length and adjust accordingly. But these Indians, all of them have used and played at Lords. Jasprit last tour, Ishant last tour. Only Siraj maybe has not played there in the last series in a test match. But rest of the bowlers, all of them, I mean, if you take the Indian, Shami has played there. So I don't think the slope, Jadeja obviously has played there, Ash has played there. Jadeja part of that winning team in 14 as well. You remember that sword dance of his in the second innings, important knock. So all said and done, the Indians, definitely the bowling attack has played at Lords, know about the slope. I don't find that a problem. Love from Gujarat, Borya sir. Can you explain Mohit Surati? Thank you very much. Pavan Rinkat, dropping Pujara, including Mayank? Maybe not. Give Pujara another game. You've got to give him another game, then we will see how it transpires. Cricket Talk. Who's going to replace Shardul? We've answered that. Arusha, Moeen Ali should play. Absolutely, I agree. And Moeen has a great record against India. Good evening, Sachin. Satyam Shardul Thakur has an injury. We've got to see if he recovers and is 100%. Vinay, India should play Ashwin. We have already taken that, and you're right. That's what I think as well. Plenty more questions. My time. Chirant S. Sir, can we have Hasib Hamid in England playing 11? Boss, we don't know the England playing 11 yet, but maybe they will also go just one test match down. They will also go in with their first test batting and then maybe take a call for the third test. What is this? Shomojit Dotto, Rishabh Pant wicket keeping was phenomenal. Absolutely. And not only this test match, Shomojit. He was very impressive in England's home series as well. If you remember some of the catches, he was fantastic. So clearly, with the batting, he has relaxed behind the wickets as well, and that's telling. And it's great to see Rishabh Pant's wicket keeping. Shastri leaving, I've already answered that. Have you heard about Aditi Ashok's complaints that she would have to wake up 2:45 to go to the day's play as a residential? Hello. You know, there are these things. I mean, I have, and I would want these things to get addressed. Absolutely, I have. I've read that. I've heard that. You know, you've got to have, but the golf course is also 2 hours from the village. So even if she stayed there, you have to work out a hotel so that these things get addressed, because the village from where we were very close to the village. It took us exactly 1 hour 45 minutes, almost similar to what Aditi had to travel. And that's the problem. And Neeraj Chopra made this point that every morning they would wake him up at 5:30 to 5:45 for the dope test. So he actually requested them that on the 7th, come around 9:30, 10 o'clock so that I could sleep a little bit more. He had come in from Sweden, so his body clock was still in Sweden time. So these are important concerns. গ্রিন রুম বরিয়াদা আমার দুটো ভ্যাকসিন হয়ে গেছে অলিম্পিক্সে কিছু মেমেন্টো দেবে তো ভাই তোমায় সব মেমেন্টো দিয়ে দেওয়া হবে তুমি লেজেন্ড Morik Kuldeep good Boriada thank you Amit whatever have heard about I answered that Manju England can see a completely new bowling attack yes we've answered that think taken all long show we'll be back tomorrow obviously at the luncheon break to analyze how the test match is going, and as I said I will continue to do Olympic sport with equal gusto. Keep supporting Sports Today. Hope you loved. I got phenomenal number of congratulatory messages from all of you for the Olympics coverage. Feels very overwhelming. Feels great to have all of your support. Thank you very much. Please subscribe to Sports Today. Ring the notification bell. Plenty will come your way on Sports Today. So, as I said, beholden to you and obliged for all your support. Thank you very much for watching.